Hi everyone! Today is 3 of this 5-day mini-series about decluttering and organizing is for the birds. When we are talking about the book, What Makes People Tick by Des Hunt. It was written in the late 1980s and I was introduced to it back then and into the 1990s and have used it for over 30 years. We are going to not only talk about the birds and their personality characteristics that we can relate to, but also what are 3 tips for decluttering and for organizing for each bird. Today's bird is the owl. If you haven't watched day 1, I'm going to link it here so you can go and get the foundational information that will make this video make more sense. Yesterday, we talked about the eagle, and today we are talking about the owl. If you have watched any of my videos, then I think you will be able to tell that I organize like an owl. An owl is considered analytical, risk-averse, detail-oriented, maybe more a micro-organizer. So if you think about the view of an owl, especially the cartoon characters that we grew up with, where they have glasses and they're studious, that's how I visually connect the owl to an analytical person or a detail-oriented person. This is the type of person that will also be able to tell you, these are our options, and here are the pros and the cons for each of those options. We have to actually think things through and not necessarily come to quick decisions. I have seen myself do that in my videos when I'm contemplating or torn about, do I let this go? Do I not let this go? Oh, it's been in that cabinet for this long and I have 8 others of them, so I don't need these. It's dusty. I haven't used it in 7 years. Okay, it's time to go. That is kind of the thought process of reasoning to get to the decision. Unlike yesterday, we talked about eagles, they are quick decision makers. An owl needs some discernment. In my current job, I am an owl, so I do a lot of analytical work, and I think that is carried over more so in my day-to-day life. When I retire, will I still be an owl? Probably. Probably I'll still be able to do things micro. I am not a macro person. I say that. We all adapt, right? We will adapt. Okay, let's jump in. So we are going to talk about 3 decluttering techniques for an owl. Number 1 is make a checklist of things to declutter. Owls like lists. I know I like a list when going on vacation or a to-do list because it gets it out of my mind and either into my phone or into a piece of paper that I don't have to worry about it anymore. Whenever I started really YouTubing, which has not been that long, I got a calendar book and I started writing in the calendar. That was my plan. I got it out of my head and onto paper. But you can still be flexible. It doesn't mean an owl is inflexible. So if there was an area that was driving me a little bit more crazy than I had planned on my calendar to film something else, then I adjusted. I call it being silly putty. So if you remember growing up, or if you don't, depending on where you're watching, there used to be, I don't know if it was a toy, it came like in an egg-shaped plastic thing, and it was called silly putty. And back in the day, you could put it on the newspaper, specifically the cartoon, and the ink would transfer from the cartoon onto the silly putty. And then you could stretch it and play around with it. And then you could roll it all up again and do it again. And that's what I call being flexible like silly putty. So yes, lists are important for your owls, but you can always adjust and adapt. Number 2, for decluttering as an owl. This one is structure and pretty common for most people, but it definitely works for an owl, is coming up with your categories. Your keep, your donate, your trash, and maybe your try on, decide later, time will tell, whatever you want to call the one that you're not ready to make a decision on that category. So you're always looking at about 3 to 4 categories. You might not always have trash, but those are the ones that you'll normally keep. That works really well for an owl because it's structured and it's targeted. Number 3, for decluttering as an owl, we research best methods. I am a constant learner. I want to know how to do something to do it well, whether that is learning to fix something or the best way to do something, or reading the book, What Makes People Tick. That helped me. If I'm going to learn how to organize my recipes, I might want to see what other people have done. You are here doing some of that. You might be here for entertainment. You might be here for research. If you're here for research, maybe you are an owl. Maybe. Those are the 3 decluttering tips. Now on to the 3 organization tips. So this is where I think it's a little bit more micro. It's making categorization. So maybe a main category and then a subcategory. And so the things I think about is like my long-term filing cabinet. Instead of having a macro folder that just says insurance, I could have 3 folders, one that says life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, and or truck insurance. So those would be your subcategories. That's where your owl, again, being a little bit more structured and detailed and micro categories are important. Another idea with that is also size and color. I organize my closet with the clothes, pants together, shirts together, and thereby color coordination. So I have black, and then I might have red and blues and greens and beiges or gold and grays and then whites. So I kind of go this methodical. I used to eat M&Ms and sort them by color. Oh gosh. So categorization, like things with like, very important for an owl. Number 2, for organizing tips as an owl, use matching containers and printing labels. Now this is a nice to have. It's not a have to have, but I do agree it is very visually pleasing when I have matching containers. I personally like clear containers. That may not be the way all owls like them, but for me, the uniformity, my pantry, I have the clear bins from Walmart, and then I have the black labels that have like the white chalk type paint print on those, and that's my uniformity. So this absolutely is a typical of an owl. Number 3 is keep a master inventory list. Keeping a budget in Excel. To me, that's an inventory list. It's an inventory of my bills and my expenses. Now I will tell you, I have had a fail in this area because I tried to do this on my freezer to keep inventory of all the things I had in the freezer. The challenge is my husband is not an owl. And so when things got taken out, the little tick marks next to whatever item was not marked off. So my inventory went out the door. That was not a solution for both of us. It's okay. It's not always going to work. So those are the 3 things that help a person declutter. It might also help you prevent buying something new because you know what your inventory is. All right, that's it for today. We've learned a little bit more about owls, decluttering and organizing tips for them. Tomorrow we are going to talk about the peacock, and the following day about the dove. I hope you join me. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I'm going to close like my dad always closed his voicemail messages. Bye for now. Okay, number 3. Number 3.